Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome, y'all. This is a Monday morning. You already know the forecast is going to be clear skies because your boy's out here to teach your raggedy ass. Welcome to the show. I'm Aries Bookman. Looking around to make sure there's nothing else I want to move out of my way. The desk is mostly covered in shit from my altars, and I've been spending a few days doing some of that stuff. Every now and then, a painting spree comes up. It doesn't, because I'm not a painter per se, but when it does come up, it comes. So, welcome to the show. Let me double check my things on here, make sure everything is good. I'm not talking to myself. I hear myself in my audio. Got what I want on the screen. All right, guys, look, check it out. This is what I want to talk about today. For those of you who do not know, the doors to the guild have closed for any new members for this particular expedition this season. So you can get on the wait list if you want to. Wait list is on the website, the link's below. But that's not what I want to talk about. Because obviously, if you wanted to, you'd already be in. But just for those who don't know. So, this is what I want to talk about today. I want to do some math speaking, okay? Today, I'm not gonna talk to you about method if I can help it, okay? Because I want to dance around with the ontology and the epistemology. I want to give you a clearer understanding of why it is that I've created a cosmological model at all. And when I say created, I should put air quotes. I have my hands full. Why I've created a cosmological model at all. I'm also going to live stream this on fucking YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, but Instagram. Let me see how it works. Cast iron, conjure, cast the spell. Good to see you in the chat, sweetheart. Yeah, I want you to understand why you need to be cognizant of your own cosmological model. More especially when you're the words you use are very loose, like God and energy. Because as a philosopher, I'm keen on picking out and pointing, okay, what's this and that? What constitutes the category you're speaking about? And that's part of the reason that's part of the reason I made a cosmological model to begin with. So there's that. And so I want to talk a bit about that, specifically about the concepts of what gods are, okay? I prefer to use the word deity because God, like the word earth, you don't know if you're talking about the thing named that or the position it's making reference to. What's going on, Flair? you about to give me dyslexia with your name. Serious side peace, man. What's going on? I guess that's the prayer beads. Anyway, that's what we're gonna get into today. I want to talk to you about the old gods and the new gods. What are the point of all these deities? Okay, how do they work? How do you recognize them? And that sounds like methodology, okay? And to be quite frank, damn it, do I want to do that? I may do that later in the end. But for now, so that we can get started, everyone, y'all take a look at this. I'm going to get things set up. Right. I'm hitting it, right? Hey, look. This is what I'm gonna do. I want to see what comes of doing this. Hold on, because I'm a live stream there and here. Because the thing about Instagram is I don't know how to. I see somebody do that shit where they put their computer screen on Instagram, the live stream. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm gonna see what I can do with this and see what fucking difference it makes. Hold on. There we go. All right, because those motherfuckers, they're not gonna get to see the beauty of the YouTube. And so I would suggest they go to YouTube, but then, who knows, whatever. Ooh, shit, I'm fucking all the way up. Yo, I told you the desk is covered in stuff I'm working for on altars. Just knocked it off the table, excuse me. Yes, it's more important than you. Oh. I see what I did. Okay. I gotta watch this fucking cord. Okay. So, what are we talking about? Hey, man, if y'all even on this motherfucker, just go to YouTube because you're going to miss the good shit. What are we talking about, guys? I want to talk to you today about some of the old gods and the new gods. We'll pull this up. Side Ejex, Dark Star, and Jakari. Good to see y'all in the chat, man. Good to see y'all in the chat. Welcome to the show. That's right. I'm not worried. I can't even. Well, I could see, but I can't see from here. I see somebody said something on Instagram. I don't know. Anyways, when I'm talking about gods, what are we talking about? Okay. Let's take it back. Because this is part of the reason I made a cosmological model for motherfuckers to communicate and comprehend some of the things they're trying to engage with. Okay. 1,000 years ago. Okay. Let's kick it. 10,000 years ago. Okay. It's not a matter of whether or not there were or were not atoms, because you're going to get into a philosophical conversation with me about what is real. And that's ontological, okay? Most people haven't contended with their idea of what makes something real. But what I'm going to say is that there were no atoms. There were no one looked at the world and saw a flurry of chaotic particles, okay? That's the first thing. Whether or not that's true, correct, right, pragmatic, if you will, all of those are beside the point at this point. And not to say whether or not any of those concepts are relevant, but they're beside the point, okay? How did they fit themselves to the world? Going back, like I say it all the time, this is why there was no penguins in the Egyptian pantheon. Not because something is wrong with the penguin, even though we will question, his family role. The seahorse too, we see you. Penguins and seahorses. Anyway, that don't mean they're less divine. And that's the point. The images you'll see for the deities, all of these were tools for the people to fit themselves to the world. And I even pause at saying people, because this concept of this is why I don't like humanism. I think it's very contemporary. Back when we're talking, 10,000 years ago, there was a fluid continuity between the world at large and the self. Okay, what do I mean when I say that? And this was based on how they divided up this infinity we're looking at. How they divided it up. They would have said maybe Inky, all right? And if they're talking about death, maybe they'll say Nurgle, okay? And see, once again, they wouldn't say death. Who's English? They would say Nurgle. Like, what you mean? Like today, we'll say maybe something like, and people tend to speak in euphemisms. They don't listen to themselves. We tend to say people have passed on. Okay, or they've gone beyond, or they, whatever little euphemism you want to use to say other than this nigga died. They may say he's been given to Sharon to go across the river Styx, or he's begun his descent into the underworld and now he's on a completely different journey. None of those things had anything to do with particles, humanity. These are things that we have brought along. These are things that we try to historiography. That's funny. But what we're doing is bad historiography. It's trying to take contemporary concepts and map them onto the past as though, okay, such and such, when they said chi, they were really talking about energy. No, I don't think so. We can debate it. Come. No, no one debates. It's just easier to say, well, whatever the fuck they were talking about is what it is that I think they were talking about, and that must make it the thing. No. You're missing the context, okay? You're missing the context. Deities are not something out there. Fuck, you ain't something in this. Your categories are mixed. Your levels of analysis are mixed. And why is that? Because you're not holding an allegiance to a particular cosmological model, and because you're making this thing where I don't have a specific cosmological model, you have none. And when you have none, you're not really doing anything but changing words around. Okay? Because the words are for the cosmological model. The deities are for the cosmological model. When the Greeks said Tartarus, they were invoking an aspect of the cosmological model. When Christians say God is in heaven, they are invoking an aspect of their cosmological model. When you motherfuckers say the universe going da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you are tracking your own cosmological model, because I will be damned if there is a cosmological model that extends beyond materialism, that talks about a universe. Because see, this is what motherfuckers don't get about that first principle. You can call it Hermetic principle, principles of Tahuti, whatever the fuck you want to call it, Thoth, I don't care. Look, this is the first principle, and you know what the first principle is. All is mind. The universe is mental. This is two ideas put together. Because you heard my pause, okay? You heard my pause. I put it there for a reason. All is mind, okay? What we're basically saying is, all things are one thing, regardless of what you call that thing. You could say all is chair. It would be equivalent to that comment. You could say all is light. It's equivalent. All is love. It's equivalent. All is energy. It's equivalent. All is chair. All is cup. All is jar. All is paint. All is whatever the fuck, right? That's the first part, is that all things are one thing. Now, this is where it gets fun, and people miss it because it's subtle. If I just said, all is mind, where the fuck does mental and universe come from? All is mind. The universe is mental. That's not the same statement. This is the being, and this is the doing. Okay? This is the being and this is the doing. The first part is the being, the second part is the doing. Okay? Mental, ol at the end, the al suffix is maybe characterized by the concept of mind. And see, this is why your words are important. It's easy to go around to say, all is mind and all is energy, but what constitutes the category? And that's what you're getting in this second half, is how to determine what's going to constitute the category. We've given you the ontological base. Here's the epistemological part, where this is the manner by which you know. That's all in the first part. It's in one thing right there. But motherfuckers are so quick to all is mind, the universe is energy, to say some shit that's motivational. Look, I get it. Tierra Blanco, good to see you in the chat, sir. Don't think I didn't see you. Look, I get it. Shit is rough. Okay, shit stinks. Shit's dirty. Shit's nasty. You're right. You're not crazy for thinking that. Okay, you're not crazy for thinking that. But this metaphysics is so much more than the things you say to motivate yourself. Metaphysics is so much more than the things you say to motivate yourself. Okay, so when we are talking about a deity, let's take Jesus for example. First thing motherfucker want to say. Okay, cool. I'm listening. I can hear you from here. Jesus ain't real. Okay. Gengar's not real. Arius isn't real. See, here comes the nihilism where you just strip the meaning from things. We don't even think about what constitutes the category of real. What constitutes the category of truth? You want to say, oh, exposing the truth. What constitutes the category? Jesus, okay? Now, whether or not Jesus is real, we'll push that to the side. We'll say, insofar as Jesus is a thing at all, I'll be damned if it ain't touched more lives than any motherfucker that you know or could have imagined in physical life. Once again, you can say Jesus ain't real, but I'll be damned if Jesus ain't touched more motherfuckers than you know or can conceive. Ain't no way some do that and it's not real. And once again, you gotta examine what you mean by real, because most people will constrict the idea of real to physical. And you do it very subtly. You don't notice it. It's fine. I'm not going to be mad at you for doing it. You're free to do it. But don't try to invoke something within that matrix that don't exist there. It can't exist there. Okay? It don't have the interoperability at the moment. What is a deity? If you've read Plato's Republic, we were talking a bit about this in the guild during our meet and greet. Plato mentions the concept of the forms. I would say forms are much more likened to archetypes, but the devil's in the details. The archetypes themselves contain archetypes, and that type of interoperability is usually what we're talking about when we say deity. So let me give you an example of how archetypes work and what I mean by this. The archetype of a tree. And what is an archetype? Excuse me, they don't chew. Excuse me. An archetype, thinking an arching over type. A type, an arching over type, an umbrella that contains everything below it. Let's say the archetype of plant, okay? Within that arching over type, you're going to find trees, bushes, vines, flowers, grasses. Those archetypes will exist in the archetype of plant. And within each of those archetypes exists another infinite plethora of archetypes, okay? Remember, infinity is not a monolithic concept. People like to use infinite as an escape to not actually have to justify what they're saying. Oh, I'm infinite. Yeah, I know, but there's nothing that isn't. So it's kind of redundant to mention it if we're going to move somewhere. Like, you see, once again, the things I talk about are metaphysics. And it's not to say it can't be motivational. It's not to say what I say has to not be motivational. But whether or not it's motivational is different from whether or not it's valid. Okay? Now, we can go back and forth. I can give you evidence. I come with receipts. Okay? Anyways, Jesus. All right? And if you've seen the show Gods of American Gods, there's a book, actually. I like the book. I always hate the character Shadow Moon. He's an awful character. Fuck. But in there, they do the thing where they go to the Easter's party, and there's a bunch of different forms of Jesus. See, once again, infinity is not monolithic. There are infinitely many different Jesuses. Now look, you can take two axes on that idea. Okay, boom. You can say there's infinitely many Jesus in the sense that there are things like Ishtar. Okay, so this must be another Jesus in that way. That's one axis. But this axis as well, you have Jesus of Nazareth, who's on the cross and rising. Jesus on the cross. Jesus at a party in Galilee. Jesus in the temple. Jesus when he was 14. Jesus when he was in the manger. Jesus when he had yet to be born. There's a lot of different Jesuses, ain't it? You know, there's a lot of different Jesuses. See, once again, infinity is not a monolithic concept. It is not this woo thing out there. If you watch it on Instagram, just go watch on YouTube. You get to see what I'm about to get into in a minute, okay? There are many versions of Kali as well. Exactly. Especially, this is why I love the Hindu pantheon. It's because so much of it is intact. You can see its colors, its vibrancy, its complexity. Sorry. We were arguing. You can see its texture. Okay, when you're looking at a pantheon, and this is why I love this conversation we're going to have today, it's an entire cosmological map. Okay, they'll give you the basic structure of the cosmos, but then they'll fill it with all this epistemological content. Remember, let me show you guys, because I want to show you and not just tell you, because maybe this is your first time listening, and for some reason you haven't done any other research on what I talk about. That's fine. Welcome. Here it is. This is what I want to talk about. Remember a cosmological model, okay? First thing, ontology, the basic structure of reality. All right? Just like if you open up your Google Maps and you don't type in nothing, don't search for nothing. What's it going to give you? The ontology. The basic underlying structure of reality. Once again, because if you're what was that? PM? PM, good to see you in the chat, man. At least 108 different names of the same deity. Yeah, and see, it's not even, I love things like that. Thank you for the example. Because it's not even about, because we're talking about something that's infinite and has infinite forms, infinitely. It's not even the 108. What's the 108 telling you? 108 is telling you 9, but in a threefold dispersed pattern. Oh my God, it's lovely. Because it's not just 9. You can reduce it to 9 and some people will only go there. But it's 9 as 108. It's I don't want to get into the qualities and the quantities, because I've done that. And I've realized most motherfuckers ain't even ready to chew it. But yes, it's not even about the 108. The 108 is another symbol. All right. Oh my God. Like you hear demons with 10,000 legions, right? Or 7,000 legions, or 5,000 legions. It has nothing to do with thousands, right? But anyways, continuing. You open up your Google Maps. You don't search for anything, right? You just open it up and look. It's going to give you the ontology. All right, this is where I give you the ontology. When I say primordial, non-physical, and physical, and yes, all three, every damn time. When I say ontology, this is what I mean. Just opening up the Maps app, not searching for anything, okay? This is your ontology. But what happens when you search for something? And mind you, you don't even get methodology yet. Methodology will come next. What happens once you search for something on the Google Maps? This is when you get your epistemology, okay? Here is your pantheon. Here is your pantheon. Now, what have they done? What have they done? They've taken the base structure, and the epistemology is a natural outgrowth of it. Okay? Epistemology is a natural outgrowth of it. You're making markers on that original territory. Because you can say Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma, and you would not be inaccurate. But when we get into something like Harihar, who's a mix of Shiva and Vishnu, now, once again, you've only changed your epistemology a bit. Because look, this is the epistemology if I looked up the goodwill. That was the example I used, okay? But the epistemology, if I look up Walmart, the same icons. The same icons, a bit of a shift, okay? And we're still dancing in epistemology. When I say soul, spirit, and body, I'm talking just like what's gone here. Each is a natural outgrowth of what we've already discussed, okay? And so when I'm talking about deities, all right, because like I said, I don't like to use the word God. It's got too much shit that motherfucker want to run off with. God and energy, it's got too much shit motherfuckers just want to take and run with. So I try to pull it back. Hold on, we're going to do it over here. All right, deities. What are deities? All right, using the cosmological model that I present, what are deities? Deities are spirits that exist not in the non-physical or non-physically. Boom, boom, boom. Really simple. Really simple. And it's not to say when I've said this, now I'm the monolithic cool guy who knows a secret no one knows. No, no, and no. I mean, yes, God, but that's not what I'm talking about here, okay? That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm saying is you have to track your own cosmological model. If somebody from ancient Shinto Japan were to run into a West African Orisha along the, what was that damn big ass trading route? The Silk Road. There we go. If they had to run across each other on the Silk Road, they would have been experiencing the same physical life, but they would have divided up their perception of the world completely differently. God in the Garden of Eden creates all this shit and then tells Adam to name it. Why? Because God don't see what Adam see. Babata Bamogo. Whoa. Talk to him, brother. I'm going to talk to him, man. Babata Bamogo. All right, now. Look, I don't even know what the fuck that means. I just feel some niceness in it. All right. Go ahead. Welcome to the show. I don't think I've seen you. I probably would have remembered that name. Anyway. So when we're talking about a pantheon, okay? Look. Me going from Goodwill to Walmart on this example is like me going from Shinto to the Orishas. It's the same basic structure. They divide it up differently. And based on how you divide it, what do you get? What do you get? Come on. You know what you get. Methodology. So if you motherfuckers are trying to generate methodologies, but what you're doing is using fragments of different pieces without a set cosmological model, you're capping. You're capping. It's not even because I say you're capping. It's because you don't have a cosmological model. And maybe you're on the road, on a path where you say, I'm above cosmological models. I do not need a model. I am. Okay, you know what? You're good. You're good. And I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. But I want to explain the texture of the limitation that you brought with you. Because it's not to say you cannot do what you are doing and get results. You can and will because you are. That I am. Perfect, beautiful. But the thing about that is that it applies to any and everything. And that's why for most people it sets at a level of motivation and a thing to help them push forward. A thing to help them, because see, that's the thing. They don't have a set methodology because they don't have a set ontology and epistemology. Their methodology will switch from here to there based on what they're trying to absorb or put into their framework without checking the framework itself. I say, bro, a lot of y'all are bad Christians. And it's not about what you should be. It's that your cosmological model is that of a Christian, even though you don't go to the church, you say you don't believe in Jesus this way or that way, you don't believe the Bible was literal. Okay, cool. Your cosmological model is the same. This is why you motherfuckers rebel against Christianity, and the furthest you can get with your spooky ass is demons. My nigga, you spit infinity to me. Y'all talk infinity to escape having to examine something you never wanted to have to examine. But this infinity is infinite. It's infinitely infinite. You don't want to drown the complexity of existence in its own infinite nature. Would you reject the grace? Would you reject the grace offered to you? And you know what? You might. That makes sense. Never mind. I'm being a dick. That makes sense. So I don't want to get into methodology. I want to talk about epistemology, okay? I want to talk about how motherfuckers have divided up the map, and how we divide it today, okay? Because when you get the idea that gods are not this spooky fuck magic floating somewhere, things will make more sense. I'm so serious. When you can start to let go of the idea as energy, as a mechanism of materialism. Because when motherfuckers say energy never dies, what are we referring to? I'm not saying whether or not it's true, it's correct. What are we invoking? Particle physics. Particle physics. How about this? Check this out. This is why you didn't need particle physics for fucking Christianity. Because you know what I got? I don't need energy. I got the blood of Christ. Uh-oh. You see why I didn't need energy? Fuck you, me. But motherfuckers are stuck on it because they're trying to build a model that links what they know, how they frame the world, particles, elements, dark energy. Oh, motherfuckers are excited about dark energy, boy. Motherfuckers like, but they don't even understand the game they're playing. Western science, specifically materialism, is made not to be able to do what y'all are trying to do. This is why y'all keep using shit like energy and vibration. It's not to say there isn't a reality to that, but you're mixing the map and the territory. All of these abstracts of space-time, melanin, DNA, cells, mitochondria, your metabolism from that, quasars, galaxies, quarks, strings, Higgs bosons. All of these things are map, and none of them are territory. None of them are territory. I need you to get that. They are abstract concepts we use to track and predict behavior. They are not telling you what it is.
No, it's not.
Oh.
But it's just stuck.
Oh, I think it's probably about to jump up in a second. Because I started the stream. Do you see it?
Not yet.
Why is it acting like this? It's a piece of shit.
You're speaking too much truth.
Okay.
There it is.
Oh, let me close that shit off. Alright. I don't know what the fuck I was doing there. Here we go. I still have
one screen. It might be mirroring two screens right now.
Might be mirroring. Oh, yeah, I had to switch what the fuck it was on. Okay. So, what was I talking about? Epistemology. Okay. No, I'm looking. You acting like you ain't keeping up. It's alright, you gotta stream it. As long as you're streaming it, okay, I'm not gonna be mad at you. Perfect now. Okay. So this is what we're talking about today. The old gods and the new gods. I want to really give you a concept of what the old gods were for. Alright? What were the old gods for? Yo. I really like the music. We're talking the epistemology of the map. Now, if we're gonna say it in terms of the Bookman model, a deity is a spirit that exists non-physically. Very simple. Anything that exists non-physically is a spirit. Anything that exists primordially is a soul. Anything that exists physically is a body. right? It can all be so simple. It doesn't have to be difficult. So, when we're talking gods, this is just like these markers on here, a different way to divide up the world. That's why you'll find a consistent opener of the way from pantheon to pantheon to pantheon, because of how necessary the role is in existence, in our perception and experience of the terrain. Okay, that's not to say you just switch Papa Legba out with Ishu or Ganesh. It's not that simple. Um, that's like saying you can just take a liver out of a cat and put it in your chest, and you can't. Yeah, it's a liver. Yeah, you both have a liver, and you understand how a liver works. But I tell you, you cannot take that out of its context, unless, of course, you're about to build your own context. What am I giving you? A basic framework to do that. So either you need to jump in another rite that's been around and really dedicate your life to it, or you need to figure out the ontology and epistemology of the reality you're trying to invoke. Oh. Smooth Sade, good to see you in the chat, man. Yeah, appreciate y'all. Okay, reflection is over. We back. Good. I appreciate y'all helping me out there. I don't know what the fuck that was. My computer don't do that. Anyways, well, clearly it does because it just did. Fuck you talking about, nigga. All right, so we know, I want to say we know what the old gods were for. We know the role they served, okay? So we're not saying there's some spooky, mystical thing out there, nor were they ever saying that there's actually something here, which is the part that you really gotta get. Because what y'all motherfuckers try to do when you want to try and reduce everything down to this and the experience of this, and that's you miss it so hard when you want to reduce everything to there's just stuff in the body, and it's the body, and in the body there's the body, and the body, and the body, and the body. You miss 2/3 of the whole thing. Look, Jesus said, give back 10%, not your money. You listen to Massa and them because they want your money. It's going to be your money. Give back 10%. What is 10%? The idea that all there is this place, is this life, and that this is just some chaotic stream where there's nothing going on. No. Walk by faith. See, motherfuckers know the shit, but you confused about ontology and epistemology. You want to know what is real. And you still think somebody will come along and say, hey, here comes Arius. Well, what's real is soul, spirit, and body. What's real is primordial, non-physical, and physical. And now that you know what's really real, you can go tell motherfuckers because now you know what's real. No. What does it mean for something to be real? That's the old gods. I want to talk about the new gods. I want to talk about the new gods, okay? 5,000 years ago, the stories of these gods lived in the people. They knew these stories. This is part of how they knew these gods, okay? 5,000 years ago, you know the story of Horus. That's how you know Horus. Okay, you know his symbolism, you know his iconography, you know his narrative, and it's set as a framing for your reality. This is how we used it. What stories exist in the minds of men and women today? Because most of them will diminish their stories to materialism, and this is part of what I mean when I say human is the lie. Trying to take all this stuff and just reduce it to humanity is ridiculous. Not only is humanity an artifact of colonialism, because we wasn't human before this shit, just like we wasn't black before this shit. Don't throw away Christianity. It has so much in there for you. This is what we're talking about when you have equal status to Christ. This is what it means when it say man has always ruled earth. Not Not Homo sapien. M-A-N. The new gods. What stories exist in our heads today? We used to build temples to Ra. Whole temples. You probably see somebody out on the street wearing some Ra clothing because that's how down this motherfucker is with Ra. You ever go to India, you see somebody who, depending on what Pujas, don't quote me on the pronunciation. What pujas they engage in, which deities are their patron, if you will. You'll see the colors of their life reflect that. The symbolisms in their life reflect that. But because people today are disassociated from divinity, they don't usually use the deities like that. Like you watch American Gods, and the deities is like, we used to be kings, head ass. And now I'm sitting here eating all bullshit. But I mean, it's because of our conceptions. In the old days, the gods of this nation of people and the gods of this nation of people would fight. They would war. They would battle. Why? Because they're inextricably connected to the people. Not to say which one is causal, because motherfuckers love to try and, it's all things we thought up. Okay, how about we is a thing we thought up? Did I push it too far? Nah, yeah, because you want to stop at humanity. No, the devil's in the details. This is why I talk metaphysics, and not who's right or what's true. I'll get you there. Trust me, but that's not what I'm talking about. The guy's got the chat clogged. Casted a spell to get Steam back rolling. Hell yeah, she had to come through, cook it up. Y'all better check the flick of that wrist. As always, at the top of the coffee for the ancestors. Alicia, good to see you in the chat. Hey everyone. We missed you on the meet and greet. Well, I saw you there, but you probably had stuff to do. Grown folks have stuff to do, but we're gonna get in there. We're gonna make sure everybody in the guild knows who you are and you know them. Yeah, we had a meet and greet just what was it? It wasn't yesterday. It was the day before that. It was Saturday. Just kind of impromptu, kind of give everybody a chance in the guild to, come up, introduce yourself, see who's here, see who you are. Because motherfuckers always think they the only person think what they think and feel what they feel. Because you're so deep in it, you're so alone, you feel so alone, you're convinced, which drives you deeper into loneliness, that no one else is thinking or doing what you're doing. But it was wonderful to see. So many of the different people were interested in the same things. They were approaching the whole work in a certain way. Like me, I'm not a big dream person, right? But there's niggas that dream. And so if a nigga came to me asking me about dreams, I can only give you so much. But we go along with this cohort, especially after 3 months, and y'all have the language for how to communicate with each other, you get to practice it. Those motherfuckers can take you further in dreams than me. Until I fucking brush up on the shit. And so not only do you actually, now you know some people in this shit, but now you know motherfuckers who can talk to you about shit I wouldn't be talking to you about. Which is what I want. So you motherfuckers can do shit I never would have imagined. Okay, the new gods. Now, granted, most people are going to diminish their own capacity, and in doing so, they diminish the capacity of the gods, the deities, okay? The two are inextricable. To the degree to which you are not this and you are that, you are also not that and are this. It's this. Look, this stays solid, but this flips. Why? Because physical and non-physical are equally flat compared to what? The perpendicular, unchanging matter. Not unchanging. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not unchanging. It may begin unchanging, but to the degree to which anything begins, it's an end. So I don't even want to invoke a beginning. I will say it is flat in terms of the perpendicular metaverse, primordial, Kalipothic realm. Okay, motherfuckers like to say the Kalipoth is behind the tree of life, and they're not wrong. But this is the thing: you're looking at the tree of life from underneath. It's like it's laid out on the ceiling, and the Kalipoth goes like this, and you looking up All you're going to see is a tree of life. You got to get out the box and go around. Oh, look at that. Anyways, the new gods. Here's one I love. I love this example because everybody knows. Spider-Man. Spider-Man could have lived as a Nazi. And once again, when I'm saying this, remember, don't think spooky fuck thing out there. Here's an idea. People like to do this because I really don't think they get what I mean when I say I'm the ego. People invoke all kind of different deities. Here's one: society. People love to invoke society. That is a deity. It's not here. Can you invite society to the barbecue? No, but you sure as hell can talk about the motherfucker, can't you? That's why I say niggas made melanin a deity. That's why I agree with fucking Trav about shit. When niggas go on the left-hand path and don't know what they're doing, you will deify your bullshit. The process of deification is a feedback. But you don't understand the larger loop, so I get why you wouldn't see that. And I'm also not. Maybe I should do that in the methodological map, but I don't like that because I'm so constrained to 2 dimensions that would be an oversimplification to the point of inaccuracy. What I was gonna do was switch some of the methodological maps. Here's the methodological map. Because remember, anytime you see a map with Brandon's face on it, it's a methodological map because people are very deeply certain that they're ready for methodology, and they're not. They're not ready for methodology, and I mean you as well. Okay, you're not ready for methodology, but you're gonna want it. You're gonna want it. Be about the egregore. Okay. Now, what you're invoking here is coming out of Europe. The idea of egregores. Not to say whether or not it is or is not a thing. But if we're going to use that framework, that this and that, if you will, this is why I don't like the idea of egregores because it devolves it back down into this individualized sense, and most people's individualism is tainted. So it'll become a point of pride as opposed to a point of divinity. What you can say is what most people know as deities are public deities. All right, they're public. They're made to be used. What I'm giving you is a public framework. It's public. It's for other people to use. The way the man in the field knew the gods of Egypt is not the way the priests and the pharaoh knew them. Okay? That's more of a biblical sense of knowing. The man out there who has to spend most of his day working the field because that's his role in the community, not to say whether or not it's lesser or greater, I appreciate my thigh muscle. I appreciate some little glooba glob blob gland that works so well I don't even have to know it exists. I appreciate the motherfucker. So, but those people did not know the gods the way the people in the priesthoods and the Pharisees would have known them. Not because something is more right or wrong. It's your perspective on these things. If the person in the field could spend the time of day, of life, to contend with the 3 questions, the 3 existential essentials. You may not know what the 3 existential essentials are. If you do not have the time, day, fortitude to contend with the 3 existential essentials, there's no way you're going to understand the world. So what did they do? They gave you the religions. They gave you the traditions and the cultures that had these questions answered in there already. So all you had to do was show up and play your role. They saved you so much time, and now you motherfuckers out here rolling around in the chaos and darkness trying to act like you can piece it together and don't even know what you're looking for. The deity served as the epistemology, okay? On top of the ontology of how they divided up the cosmos. So if you're going to do anything, you need to examine how you divide up the cosmos. Because I tell you what, this is what a lot of y'all have. This monolithic spiritual world that's just It's so deeply subjective that it's hard to hold anything down or know anything about it. But then you start to do this thing where you take materialism and try and use it as evidence to prove the existence of this monolithic thing, and the most you can really get is everything is connected. But I mean, that was dumb because we knew it. We already like the only motherfucker that didn't know that was human. What you think I mean when I say human? You think it's this? No, it's a conception. Humanism. Humanism. It's a system of thinking. Human is an agreement. I will give you Homo sapien, but not human. I'll give you Homo sapien, but not human. That's a whole different thing. That's speaking to your own continuity with the reality. Because what is human? Either somebody tries to spirity up human based on a framework that don't have it in there. That's what I'm saying. All the atoms and cells and quarks and holes, bosons, it's not in there. And it's not in there on purpose. You can't just plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. Who was that? That was Bro Sanchez. Plug it in. Niggas was talking about chakras. That was hilarious. Anyways, you have to answer these. The priesthood would spend the time here. These were the ones who contended with the bounds of the reality of the community. This is usually why, if it wasn't some big metropolis and it was a village, they lived on the edge of the village. They lived away from everyone else in the community. And y'all motherfuckers sitting here, I'm the only person in my family. I'm so lonely. But at the same time, I'm really a shaman. Well, then put two and two together, motherfucker. Shit. And see, motherfuckers so caught up in saying I'm a shaman for motivation, you gotta know the life they lived. It's easy to say, oh, I'm a reincarnation of these old shamans. It's another thing to live that shit, to walk it. You playing human. Look, them motherfuckers came to Shaka Zulu talking about them the sticks that shoot fire. And he's like, nigga, my homies eat fire. Fuck you talking about? Human is the lie. That's what I'm saying. This concept of humanity is a dampener. I need a better concept of electrical circuitry. Something that dampens the voltage that can be flowing. I think that's a capacitor, but I'm not sure. Dampen might not even be the word I need to be using. But anyway, you answer these three existential essentials, and that nests you back into reality. Okay, it's not about what is true and what's real. It's that these things give you the foundations to begin mapping out or deciding what is real. This is part of the reason a lot of y'all hate nihilism, because the underlying ultimate reality does not have a purpose. What is you? The thing that makes the purpose. But you too busy trying to find the purpose in old shit instead of realizing you the thing that make the purpose, and how, okay, well now that I know that, how have I been making purpose already? It could all be so simple, man. It really could. Imani Dirty. Good to see you in the chat, Imani. ZJ's in here too. Good to see you. I just woke up. What's up, y'all? It's a resistor. Thank you. Thank you. See, this is why I fuck with other people who don't know what I know. Because I couldn't think, I wouldn't have known what that is. Thank you, sir. And y'all be acting like y'all don't teach. I can't teach Aries nothing. Nah. Especially ZJ. Look, you gonna teach me how to do that? That don't mean no. Oh shit, man. What was I talking about? Okay, the deities. This is one that I like now, the new gods. Remember, once again, we've already addressed the fact that most people are going to diminish their capacity with humanity, and as such, diminish the deities that they live with. Okay, because like I said, society, it ain't here. The ego, it ain't here. It ain't doing nothing to you. It's pride. I hate when motherfuckers invoke the ego. And they want to subtly, because this is how darkness do. My kids will get you every fucking time. Especially pride. It's the ego. The ego wants me to not do this. No. Your personal pride make you not want to do that. Not the ego. The ego ain't the reason you're scared. It's okay to be scared. Fear is natural. It's your surrender to it that makes shit fucked up. And we can surrender subtly. Very subtly. The devil gonna get his due. I'm gonna tell you right now, the devil gonna get his due. That's how the motherfucker work. Here. This is what I want to get into. This is on the private side. This is why I like to have anime suggestions. And you ain't gotta watch whatever I tell you to watch, you know. No. That's what I'm gonna say. Look, Bobby Hemmett would suggest movies, right? And it wasn't that he was telling you this movie has the secrets to everything. He's telling you that an example of the analogy he is trying to make can be seen in a visual representation in this piece of art. Okay? He's telling you that the analogy he's making can be seen in a visual representation in this particular piece of art. Okay? It's not that anyone's hiding things for you to decode, and then once you decode, you get it. No. If anything, because this is how my power works, you have to agree to me. The vampire can't walk into their home, right? You have to agree to me. If you don't agree to me, it's not even worth it. Yeah, I could probably force you to do something. I'd probably blow the wind, try and get you to take your jacket off. I want you to want to take your jacket off. You got to agree to me. And that's what you're getting from these things. It's called public notice. It's called public notice. So the degree to which you'll see things in the movie that are, this is what's happening. This is going on out there. It's not because you have to decode it and someone has left a message for you. It is public notice. If I tell you what the fuck I'm about to do to you, then do it, I'm stronger. I'm all about contracts. I'm all about agreement. As a thing is bound, so it is unbound. I will be your highest servant and destroy you with your own wishes. And destroy you with your own wishes. I could, but I won't, because why? We're inextricably connected. See, they get that right about the inextricable connection between ego and soul. But they don't get what ego is because they're not looking at personal pride. My kids will fuck you up. All that shadow shit. All the 7 sins, that's shadow shit. The motherfuckers don't address shadow. They treat shadow like it's darkness. See, ego's darkness. Shadow ain't darkness. All shadow is cast in the light. It's the light that's going to give you illusions. It's the light that's going to fuck you over. You just mad because you can't see in the dark. Anyway, just the new deities. Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. And once again, remember, when we say deity, I'm not saying some spooky fuck magic out there. How many people know Spider-Man? How many people's lives do it influence? How many motherfuckers can you go to their room and it's an entire shrine to Spider-Man? Not only Spider-Man, but the entire pantheon in which this motherfucker exists. Right? You got motherfuckers that have a shrine to the entire Marvel universe. Just like walking into a Hindu shrine that's got all the deities in it, right? Right? We do the same things. But you'll look and say, well, hold on. That's just a character that's not real. Real enough to paint it all over your damn walls. Real enough to dress up at a convention. Real enough to have philosophical debates about whether or not the real Spider-Man is the one with canisters or the one with shit that actually come out his wrist. You would have scholars debate about the stories of Ra. About the stories of Vishnu or Brahma. Right? I save you, New York, every day. Look, boy, get out here, man. I got a full-time job. Fuck you mean, bro? And look, see, when you're looking at the pantheon, remember, you're getting taught the exoteric aspect. The esoteric is always that you are all of these gods. But see, the devil is in the details. Because when you accept that, what happens? Your concept of you has to expand and quick. I'm telling you, most of y'all are caught up in various exoteric traditions. And it's not that it's wrong, that's the door. But because you have no metric of whether or not anyone is in, because for you, everyone is right and it's all ultimately the same, you don't know that you're not in the door. Spider-Man. And see, this is the thing about non-physical deity. The thing about non-physical beings and deities. They don't start their existence at the beginning and end at the end of their life. They start in the middle. See, things in the physical world begin and end from their beginning and end. Weirdness. But these things begin in the middle. Once again, Spider-Man. When what's his face came up with Spider-Man. Did he start at Spider-Man's birth? No. Did he start at Spider-Man's death? No. You can probably have different avenues which that same river will flow into Spider-Man's death and not. See, it's called canon. You have the canon, you have alternative stories. The same thing we've been doing for hundreds and thousands of years with the deities. But see, this is what's different today. You've decided to be human. You think M-A-N, man, is human. You've disconnected yourself from divinity. And as such, you've diminished the capacity of all the deities with which you engage daily. The crossroads, the path, the journey. Let's go to Legba, right? He's the crossroads. He's the traveler. 5,000 years ago, how did we travel? Dirt roads. Everybody walked. You was lucky if you had a horse, right? Or a carriage. You was fancy if you had a carriage for traveling. That's why a nigga like that would show up in a carriage, right? But let's make it more contemporary, right? Let's make it more contemporary. How do we travel now? Roads are usually asphalt. Matter of fact, a motherfucker come up on a dirt road, they're like, what the fuck is going on? I must have took a wrong turn. Huh? Why? Because that's not how the deity function no more. So to come up on a dirt road throws you off. Cars, planes, ships. How are you framing the world around you? You're doing it. You're most certainly doing it. But how? What are you using? You can tell me I make my own reality. Okay, well, what tools are you using, my nigga? ZJ, I know motherfuckers with shrines to WWE ain't even in occultists. And see, this is what I be saying when I'm talking about the dead motherfuckers. The motherfuckers who are not into occultism, study them. Because they do what they do because they believe it. And so you can see that they believe in this shit. It's a part of them. It means something to them. And so that's what it looks like when somebody does something and it means something to them. Yes. Take your spiritual stuff and have it mean that much. Have it mean that much. When Panic is talking about the heart of a child and being like a child, and you got the kid and you got his little dog, and it's like, don't fucking touch my dog. This is his seat. It's not saying play with dolls and become a kid again. That's what he's saying. He's saying keep that same energy. Fuck you mean. Keep that same vibe. Treat this shit like you treated that. That's what he's saying. He's not saying, go goo goo gaga with a baby doll and now you're getting it. That's dumb. And when I say it's dumb, it means it's not that you're dumb. It's that you haven't added any nuance. Y'all gonna have to chew if you want them teeth to come in. Y'all gonna have to chew on this stuff, man. Don't just hear it and repeat the words. Y'all gotta chew on it. Don't just swallow it. You gotta chew on it. Man, that's funny to me. So yeah, this is why I like to do the anime suggestions. Because now we have so many different pantheons. Like, remember when Bobby Hemmings said, this shit is over? What is he talking about? You really think it's the white man's world or the physical world is over? The physical world is perfect, immaculate, the pinnacle of creation. It is not going anywhere, you arrogant little speck. What is over? When he says this shit is over, what does he mean? The age of the warring gods, the warring pantheons. Shinto and the West African pantheon, at the time when they had no idea of each other, would war if they were to meet. Or depending on how the pantheon is set up, because maybe, look, war is just watching, but here comes train. Okay, because what do they have? What do they have maybe in Shinto in the East, in China? The each deities of luck, wealth, money, and trade. Well, when the ones from these gods come along, that's the mechanism these people use to engage. Okay, and then by that same respect, the people are the mechanism by which the deities use to engage. It's interchangeable. It feeds back into itself. The deities are only a means to an end. Deities are only a means to an end, but they're a very important means, okay? So when you're looking at a show, it's like looking at an entire pantheon, okay? This is what you want to, when I'm telling you the new gods, because there's so many of them. Look at a show as an entire pantheon, okay? Look at the show as the entire pantheon. When I say that, this is what I mean. I want you to understand how these deities interact with each other to create the whole narrative, how there's an underlying framework for how things work. Like, this is part of the reason I love things like Jujutsu Kaisen or the Naruto series, Chainsaw Man. Bleach could have been a lot better. Bleach could have been a lot better. But anyways, the reason I like things like this, Full Metal Alchemist, is because they have a base ontological structure about how their magical system works, if you will. And everyone takes that very basic structure and does all kind of ridiculous, outlandish shit that's unique to them based on the fundamental rules. Like, it's wonderful. Like with Naruto, everyone knows how chakra works. There are different types of chakras, different nature changes. And so everybody takes that same basic framework and twists it to make this unique, specific thing. Right? Full Metal Alchemist. Everybody has the basic fundamentals of what alchemy is supposed to be. You have to make a circle. You have to give equivalent exchange. And only after you draw the circle and you activate it, it works, right? And that's part of the reason why Elric is such a thing, because all he got to do and it's good. You know, he can mold his own arm. This is why his metal arm is iconic. Ganesh has a missing tusk. Well, not a missing tusk, a broken tusk. Okay, he's damaged. Their being damaged speaks to what role they play in the whole pantheon. Because Eric comes in and him and his brother are breaking forbidden rules. So you immediately see why this shit's forbidden and how having certain constraints on what you can do creates this infinite plethora of things you can do. People run away from constraints. They want to go back to this monolithic, everything is one thing and the monotheistic deity. No, slow down. Because look, our world is not monolithic. We don't experience it in a monolithic sense. Right? I mean, to give somebody that is very simple. It's very easy. That's why I say Christianity is a slave religion. Islam too. Both of them are slave religions. Slave religions to Judaism. Which is no, because we're going to go into a whole different thing. All I'm going to say is this. How are you not the chosen people in your own religion? Nobody has a culture or religion where they are not the chosen people in their own religion. You know why you wouldn't? Because it's a slave religion. Literally. The Goyim. Anyways, these the new gods. Because once you understand how all these new public gods work, when you're dealing in a private sense, it'll make more sense. And so that's why we started like things like Naruto. Because they take a very fundamental concept and they make it infinitely expansive. Now you can disagree about whether or not you think filler is part of canon. And once again, we've been having these same arguments for hundreds of thousands of years. We would debate as to whether or not this actually happened to Tahuti or whether or not this happened. When he's dealing with what's the fucking Dark Moon guy? Not Tahuti. His name is gonna fucking bother me. God, I did a fucking segment on it. Kansu, there we go. When we're talking about the story of Kansu, because there's controversy around it. Okay, this is what I'm saying. We're having the same kinds of debates today. You go on YouTube, you can look up the guys who study the comic book characters the same way you'd have had a temple priest studying Ra or Tahuti. Giving you the whole breakdown. Because look, he'll go to the original source, but then can come back and narrate it in a way that you can understand. See, we always do the same thing. This is why I always say, what is you? Well, I haven't always said that, but as of recent, since I've been really talking on fucking video, what is you? It's the crux. It is easy to say, you are equal to God, or you're all these gods, or you're everything. Okay. Thank you, Dawson Kansu. Oh shit, that was another Magic Man. Good to see you in the chat, bro. I just got here. Interesting subject. Hey man, I got a whole channel full of it, bro. Imani, FMA, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is good. Yes, it is. I love it. I love it. I want to go over a few others that I really think that y'all would benefit from looking at. And see, once again, I'm not saying you look at this, it shows you everything that is. This is really how it is. No, I'm not trying to tell you that. I'm trying to show you analogies in a visual form of what I'm talking about. Keys. Torah background here, but I still have questions about how to apply it to this life. Torah background. Okay, Judas. Yeah, because there's all kind of different pantheons in Judaism. A lot of people don't realize the names we have are Hebrew names. But yeah, there's all kind. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it because Amani's in the Gale, so we're most certainly gonna get into it. But yeah, that's part of the reason I like things like Naruto and Bleach. Once again, a basic system that expands and becomes more complex based on those same fundamental rules. Now, this is a good one. This is a really good one. It's not so much in the same format as these other ones where I'm talking about, we got all these different fighting things. XXX Holic is about a kid named Watanuki. He has mystical powers. There's a couple of them I'm going to show you that are like this. Mystical powers in the sense that he can see Ayakashi or yokai, they're sometimes called. In Shinto, they're basically short for monsters. Okay, Pokemon fall into this category. But he's one of the few people who can see them. They have different interactions. He meets, I want to say her name was Shoko, if I remember. She's a wish granter. She's an expert in the shit. It's an excellent tale. But they give you an interesting way to look at what it is to deal with the non-physical reality from your physical life. Okay. Another one that I love like this is Natsume Yojincho. Yojincho is the Book of Friends. About a kid named Natsume, basically the same situation. He can see Ayakashi or yokai. And look, you'll see on my well, if you're on the guild, you'll see on my profile picture. That's Yanko Sensei, Madara-sama. He's in the show. Like, I love this fucking show. Okay. The diversity, the way they can show you the diversity of the spirit realm and it's interplay and intermixed with the physical world. Like there's this one scene specifically where Natsume is talking to a fox yokai or fox spirit, and as he's interacting with it, you can see another person who can't see the spirit part interacting with the same thing, and all that person sees is a little baby fox. But Natsume can see the whole form of the yokai. So it's very interesting to watch. It's very interesting to watch when you want to start to understand some of the dynamics in play in real time for real experience. Okay. What's another? Oh my God, this is another one of my favorite fucking shows. And I'm just only gonna mention this because it's one of my favorite fucking shows, not because it has a particular thing. Because I'm not a big Gundam metal robot guy. Like I'm not a big robot guy. The only thing I do for robots is Zoids and Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann is outstanding. Because I'm not a metal robot guy, but I would say it's outstanding. Anyways, these are examples of some of the new guys. And this is the thing. When what you changes, everything else changes, and that's going to include your relationship to things like these. And so you'll start to open up, and then you'll be like, well, whoa, why do I see Wolverine in this dream, or why do I keep visualizing Wolverine when I walk in here, or something like that, right? These are the new forms. These are the new gods. As a matter of fact, if you still fucking with old shit, let's say you fucking with Ogun, right? Let's say you fucking with Ogun. What you do, the anvil and the green skirt, right? I'm Ogun in the woods. Yeah, a couple thousand years ago, bro. Maybe, this would be interesting, right? Mix Magneto and Wolverine together. That sounds like some Ogun ass shit to me. And once again, there are infinitely many Oguns and infinitely many Oguns. Lean into this shit. Don't treat these motherfuckers like wish granters. Homies. Friends. But see, the only way you're going to be able to effectively do that, it depends on what you is. You see, that's where you get into the methodology. Love XXaholic. Yes, we love that shit. Guys have kids too. And it's usually fucked up. Don't say I spelled it. Yeah. I got who you meant when you said Consudo. What is another one? And see, other people have stuff that they suggest as well. So you can jump in here. I got a few other things I gotta put in here. One I know I gotta put in here is because I hate how long the title is. It's I reincarnated as a slime. That one. The one where Renmaru Tempest. Renmaru Tempest is my nigga. When he reincarnates from physical life into the life of a slime, but he's basically like, the reason I like that is because it shows you what it's like to be the principal in the atmosphere. Okay, what it's like to be the principal. Like all the other motherfuckers in the world was so hyped when he would give them a name. And you gotta see what the name does for them. How it makes them distinct. How much they get what it means. Bro, you got to watch it. And I mean this when I'm, because y'all who are using some of the left-hand path techniques I've given you before, and you're working with your own personal non-physical reality. That show is an excellent example of the relationship between the principal and the different agents. Okay, the different aspects of the non-physical. It's a beautiful example. A beautiful example. So you gave me the Aztec name. I can't even say it right. But yes, they change over time. All of the guys change over time. So not only do you need to be able to recognize them as they change, but you need to have the kind of world that they can exist in and change and grow. Because see, if you stay stuck in the old forms, your world is stagnant. And it's not their fault. Naming an entity gives this definition. Yes. Well, look, I'm going to force you to watch it with me again now. Because look, I'm telling you, it's so good. It's so good. But this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, because fuck y'all. I'm about to end this here today, y'all. I'm fucking off Instagram. In the video, I'm not sharing that. No, I'm not sharing it because I fucking did it on YouTube. Anyway, I'm about to get the fuck out here. Enjoy my day. Oh, that's Omnistrong. That's why there's butt on my feed. I'm like, why is there butt shaking?